Another sunny day, another great day to talk about the Bronco. It was supposed to remote start. It won't start. See? This key won't work. Bronco. Great start to the video. I don't know why it didn't start, but I've opened the door and closed the door, and there we go. That's what should have happened in the beginning. I don't know why it didn't start. Never happened to me before, but welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If you guys are new here, haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. Let's talk about a couple of things I don't like about my Bronco. I think that was a very appropriate way to start off the video, even though I've never had an issue like that before. Let's take it out onto some off-road and talk about it. Look at this amazing off-road trail we're about to take it on, also known as my backyard. I'm a little terrified of taking this thing on actual off-road at this point in time because it's not PPF'd. Soon the front will be PPF'd and we'll actually take it on some real off-road. Well, here we have it, my 2022 Eruption Green Outer Banks Sasquatch 4-door Bronco. The name just goes on and on and on. You can say a bunch of different things. At the end of the day, it's 4-door Bronco, got a Sasquatch package on it. It is the upgraded V6 2.7 liter. I waited an entirety of a year and a half for this vehicle to arrive. This has been one of my favorite vehicles for a number of reasons that I have ever owned. I love the Bronco, it's an amazing vehicle, and we're going to be ripping on it just a little bit in today's video, but that does not mean that I do not like the Bronco. I think it's an amazing vehicle, but here's just some things I would change, some things I wish they'd done differently, and a couple of things to just keep in mind when you are buying this thing and searching ways to option it, because there are a couple of things that I do regret that I've talked about before, but I've even learned more things about some of those things that I just want to share. First thing I hate about this Bronco is this front bumper here. Now this is not the upgraded metal front bumper from factory. This is just the stock basic bumper that comes with the Outer Banks Broncos. I know what some of you guys are saying right now, like, hey, now you can upgrade the bumper from factory. Like you just said, they have metal front bumper upgrades. But at the time, my vehicle was on delay for a couple of different reasons. One was the tow package and one was the metal front bumper. As soon as I removed those two packages, my Bronco came instantly. Basically within, I want to say, a week and a half of me taking those options on, I had a build date for this thing and it was delivered within 3 months of all of that happening. So to say the very least, at the point in time where I was getting my Bronco, that thing was delayed probably 4 or 5 months, and the tow packages were about 5 to 6 months out. Keep in mind, I waited 18 months from when I placed my order to reserve it to when I took delivery of this thing, which is crazy. I almost waited a full year from the point I put my spec in to when I got it. So to say the very least, I was getting slightly impatient, which is why I ended up taking the bumper off and taking the tow pack off. Now I'm gonna add a hitch to it soon enough. Even though they can't tow an incredible amount, it would still be helpful to have this thing have a hitch in the back. But in the front, I have to go aftermarket now, which I completely was anticipating I had to do anyways. I saved probably $500 to $800 off of my sticker because I took the bumper off, but also now I have to go spend $500 to $800 on a metal front bumper. Now the ideal situation is for me to just go get the factory front bumper. Someone's gonna sell it at some point. Someone's gonna have bought a Bronco that was either on a lot or used from someone who had a metal front bumper and decided to upgrade it anyways. And you can probably pick one up for about $300 to $400 on the aftermarket. But here's one thing: you have to cut out the mountings for this bumper, or you have to remove the entirety of the intercooler, I believe, in order to get access to the bumper. So underneath here there are these hooks, and these hooks, tow hooks in the metal front bumper, are in a different place from what I remember, and these are connected down to the radiator on the bottom, or the intercooler, and they're mounted to it directly. So in order to take those off, you have to remove all of that or cut them out, and you have to remove those or cut them out in order to install the factory metal bumper. Now that I know that I probably would have waited an extra month or two, the Bronco front bumpers are probably slightly less on back order now, if not on back order. They're just having trouble making them, if you can get them at this point. So I got lucky with getting one in the first place, I'm aware of that, but I probably would have waited just a little bit longer, and now I'm gonna have to figure out a way to make that bumper metal. And we're gonna figure that out on the channel at some point, but just, I kind of wish I waited, honestly. Now moving on from that, because I know not everyone is interested in hearing me complain about a bumper for 5 minutes, but let's move on to the next thing. Now this next thing is an interior thing. I kind of just want to jump in and talk about something on the interior. I do really like the interior of the Bronco. I have the Lux pack, I have leather seats, I have this thing very optioned out in terms of comfort and kind of just daily driving. It's not necessarily an off-road spec whatsoever, even though it has the big tires and I will use them at some point. It's not gonna be taken off-road more than 50% of its life. I ideally want to take this thing 20%, even 15% off-road, and the rest is going to be on-road usage, and that's a really high amount for it to be taken off-road. Because let's be real, who's going to buy a $60,000 vehicle and then just strictly off-road it? I don't know about you guys, but for me, it makes sense to daily it, to drive it all the time, because I'm getting the use out of it, as well as I can off-road it when I want. And I feel like a lot of you guys, a lot of people buying the Broncos are going to be doing the same thing, and it's missing one crucial option, which I think would have made this thing 20 times better. Okay, maybe not 20 times better, but a lot better. And that option is going to be the cooled seat option. Yes, I know cooled seats aren't ideal for going off-road. They're not ideal to go on gravel. They're gonna get a bunch of stuff stuck between them. They're gonna get dirty. The perforated seats are not the option to go when you're doing those things. For the people like me who are gonna do light off-roading and are gonna be driving these things top down, doors off, in the summertime, want to be able to just have some cooled seats. I love the cooled seats in my Mustang. The F-150 we have also has cooled seats, and it's honestly one of the best things. It's a cold seat. In the summertime, leather gets hot and sticky. What's the solve for that? You get either not leather seats, which also still get warm, or you get cooled seats. And this, as a $60,000 vehicle, doesn't come with them. F-150 Raptors, from what I remember, had perforated seats. I don't remember if they were cooled or not though, but just keep that in mind. That's an off-road truck, still had the perforated seats in it. Another kind of weird thing the Bronco doesn't have is a handle up on this A-pillar. The grab handle is actually right here. And I don't know about you guys, but that's super awkward for me. Again, another small thing, and I already have a fix on order for that, but the fact that I have to order anything just kind of annoys me. Now this next thing I would show you guys with the top down and the doors off, but that's another point I'll talk about in just a little bit. These seat belts, when you have the top down and you have the doors off, flap like crazy with the wind. You can buckle them in, but they're still flying everywhere. Now there are fixes to this. Once again, you can buy a little thing to put here that holds the seatbelt in place. I actually already have them, but the fact that I have to order something kind of just makes me a little irritated. Now the next thing, I said I wouldn't complain about, but here I am complaining about it because I just have to. The sound system and the thing for a $60,000 vehicle isn't up to par. I just wish they did it slightly better. I have the upgraded B&O sound system in this thing that sit back here, but they needed to do slightly better with it. Even just the slightest difference. It's not horrible, it's not bad, but it's just not good for an option. If you're gonna be optioning a higher end sound system, I feel like you should have a higher end sound system. Alright, I've kind of been ripping on this thing and I kind of feel a little bad because I do honestly really like it, and all of these, as you guys can tell, are really small, just micro things that I would change, and I kind of just thought I would point out. It's not a make or break. It's not something that it's like, oh, it doesn't have that, I'm not getting that. It's just like the small little annoyances. And I understand some people might be like, yo, those are the smallest things in the world, why are you complaining about them? I just feel like you guys might want some insight when you're buying it into things to either order, things to fix some of the issues, or just whatnot, just general knowledge for when you're buying the vehicle. I have a video coming out for the fixes I've talked about for the things that I have. You guys will have to stay tuned for that though. The last two things I want to talk about very briefly is number one, the soft top and the doors. The doors and the soft top for the most part are pretty easy to take off. If you want to watch a video of me taking the hard top and the doors off, check it out up here. But they're pretty easy to take off and pretty straightforward. There's one bolt on the top, one on the bottom for the doors, and a wiring harness, and there's just a couple of clips and a couple of bolts for the roof, and it comes off really easily. You can do everything yourself except the last piece, and even that you can do by yourself if you really want to. But the one thing is, where do you put these things when they're off? I've been putting them in my living room, and I have a fix coming soon. Before doesn't offer a fix. They offer door bags. You can put the doors into bags, you can put the roof into bags, but what do you do with this big piece? You just put it in your garage, you can hang it, I guess, and kind of do it that way. But there's no real good solution out there as of right now, other than making your own rack. Coming soon to the channel, I have door bags coming from my Bronco, which actually should have come from factory. I guess they didn't want to take that cost, but it should have come from factory. Regardless of that, they are coming and they should be here in the next couple of days, which means that I will have the door bags, I will have the bags for the front roof. The middle roof has a bag, but I'm not about to spend $200 for a bag for the middle part of the roof when I don't need it. The doors, I want to protect the paint. The middle part, you'll see what I'll do with it. But there isn't a good way to store them. I've scoured the internet. I've tried to find, rack solutions, hanging solutions. The only real way to do it is to build something yourself. I feel like Ford went through the engineering. Okay, we're gonna put bags, we're gonna be able to put in the back of the Bronco, all of these different things, but then they didn't come up with a good solution, and no one really has come up with a good solution to store these things other than to just put a couple of hooks in your walls and to just hang the bags and to just do whatever with the top. For ideas that you guys have used, let me know in the comment section down below. But that's one of the tricky things about this, is what do you do with all of it once it's off? And another quick point I'd like to make before I get into the last point is, damn, everything is so expensive for these things. Like $180 for the bag for the middle part, $200 something for the bags for the doors. And the last point I have to bring up, the last thing I don't like about the Bronco, and I say this all the time, is the goddamn wait time. Why are we making new trim models when we can't even deliver the ones that we have in order for it? I don't understand why companies continue to make a new trim model, a Bronco Raptor. Guess what? You can't even get the Bronco from before. Why is there a Bronco Raptor that you still cannot get? Doesn't make sense. That's all I have for the video though. If you guys did enjoy, agree with some of these things, disagree with some of these things, let me know in the comment section down below. Overall, like I said before, I love this Bronco and I'm very happy that I got the Bronco in the time that I did, because I know how hard they are to get. A lot more content coming on this beast very soon. So if you want to see that, subscribe. If you want to see content on other cars as well, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.